It started with a pair of sneakers. That's how it begins for most people. One small, innocent purchase. You see the Pay in 4 with Afterpay option and think, why not? It's only $30 every 2 weeks. I've got this. But what you don't see is the snowball that's already rolling, quietly, behind the scenes. Afterpay has been marketed as a smart way to shop, a budgeting-friendly solution that helps you break up payments without interest. Sounds amazing, right? Now, here's the kicker. Millions of Australians are getting buried in silent debt through this exact system. And the worst part? Most don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. Let me hit you with some quick stats. As of 2024, over 4.5 million Australians use Buy Now, Pay Later (BNPL) platforms like Afterpay. In 5 report missing a payment, triggering late fees and, eventually, credit score damage. More than 40% of users are under 35, often juggling multiple BNPL services. Average user debt? Around $900 to $1,200 spread across purchases they've already forgotten. So what's really going on? Afterpay and its competitors, Zip, Klarna, Hum, know exactly what they're doing. They've turned the idea of debt into something friendly. Soft colors, fun fonts, no mention of credit. Just easy installments. But this is not budgeting. This is debt in disguise. And you're playing their game without even knowing the rules. Let's break down why this is a serious financial trap. You spend more without realizing. Studies show that people spend 20–40% more when using BNPL instead of paying up front. Why? Because $200 doesn't feel like $200 when it's sliced into 4 $50 payments. You tell yourself you'll manage it, then do the same thing again tomorrow and next week. Now suddenly, you owe $600 across 3 apps and your next paycheck is already spoken for. It creates an illusion of affordability. Afterpay doesn't make things cheaper. It makes them feel cheaper. That $300 jacket still costs $300, but splitting it into 4 payments tricks your brain into feeling like you can afford something you actually can't. It's a psychological play, and you're the target. It can wreck your budget. BNPL payments don't always sync with your pay cycle, so you get hit with a $70 charge from Afterpay on Wednesday, but your paycheck lands Friday. Guess what happens? Late fees, overdrafts, stress, and they don't stop. You miss one, then another, and the cycle builds. Fast. It damages your credit. Silently. Contrary to what many believe, Afterpay can affect your credit. If you default or rack up missed payments, your data can be handed over to collection agencies or flagged on your credit report. That $80 missed sneaker payment? It could cost you a future car loan. Real talk. Why this hits so hard in Australia? Australia is one of the highest users of BNPL services per capita in the world. It's woven into the culture, promoted at checkout in stores, online, and even on social media via influencers. But our wages haven't kept up with inflation. Living costs are rising, rents are brutal, and saving feels impossible. So BNPL starts to look like a lifeline. But here's the brutal truth. BNPL isn't a lifeline. It's a leash, and the companies offering it, they depend on people like you getting stuck, because late fees, impulse purchases, and repeat usage are where they profit most. This isn't just a personal finance issue. It's systemic. It's predatory. And it's being normalized like never before. So now we've exposed the problem. But this is just the beginning. You're not stupid. You're not lazy. And you're definitely not alone. You've been targeted by billion-dollar marketing teams who want to turn your paycheck into their profits. One easy payment at a time. But we're flipping the script. You're going to learn how to break free, how to take control, and how to build a system that works for you, not for them. Question for you. Did any of this hit close to home? Do you feel like you've been caught in this BNPL cycle without even realizing it? Let's be brutally honest for a second. You didn't start using Afterpay because you're reckless. You used it because life is expensive, money is tight, and Afterpay made it easy to say yes when your wallet was screaming no. But now, you might feel stuck. Maybe your next paycheck is already sliced up into payments. Maybe you've stopped checking your bank app because you already know what it's going to say. Sound familiar? Let's dive deeper into why Afterpay and buy now, pay later systems are so dangerous for people who are already feeling financially squeezed. The free money illusion BNPL companies love to say it's interest-free. And sure, if you pay on time, technically, you don't pay interest. But that doesn't make it free, because every time you use Afterpay, you're spending future money. You're borrowing from your next paycheck. You're locking in commitments that limit your future choices. And here's what that looks like in real life. You get paid on Friday, but Monday, Afterpay takes $95, then Zip takes $60, then Klarna hits for $38. Now your payday is gone before you've even touched it. That's not budgeting. That's modern-day wage slavery. Why it feels so good, but hurts so bad ever. Noticed how BNPL services look fun? Pastel colors? Friendly icons, no scary numbers, instant gratification. It's designed to feel like a lifestyle upgrade, not a debt contract. It's like a dopamine hit every time you buy now. That rush? That's your brain getting rewarded before it even has to think about consequences. This is behavioral science being used against you. They know exactly how to nudge you into more spending more often. You know who else uses this technique? Casinos, same colors, same sounds, same rush, same aftermath. Real Aussies, real struggles. Let's hear from a few people who've been caught in the trap. Emma, 29, Sydney. I had 6 Afterpay purchases running at once. I couldn't even remember what I bought. When they all hit my account the same week, I couldn't pay rent. I had to borrow money from my mom just to eat. Josh, 34, Brisbane. Afterpay made me feel rich when I was broke, but it wasn't real. I just ended up more broke, with extra fees. Talia, 21, Perth. All my friends use BNPL, it's just normal. But then I saw my credit score tank, and I couldn't get approved for a car loan. That was my wake-up call. These aren't lazy people. They're not reckless. They're just people who fell into a system designed to feel harmless. And now they're paying for it. Let's talk about the psychology of control. Why does this hit so hard for people who grew up without money? Because BNPL gives you something that poverty constantly takes away. A sense of control. When you've grown up lascado, broke, every purchase feels like a loss. Every dollar feels like it's disappearing. Every bill feels like a setback. But BNPL flips that script. Suddenly, you feel like you're choosing. You're saying yes. You're getting what you want, not just what you can afford. It feels empowering. Until it doesn't. And that's the trap. They sell you control, but you end up owned. Why most people never talk about it? There's shame around debt, especially small debt. You don't want to admit that you're struggling with $400 in Afterpay debt. You don't want to admit you can't afford that last payment. You think it's embarrassing, so you keep it to yourself. But here's the truth. This is not your fault. You are living in one of the most expensive countries in the world. Your wages are flat, rents are insane, groceries are through the roof. And you've been handed an app that pretends to be a solution, but just quietly keeps you broke. You are not broken. The system is. Let's flip this. Time to talk. I want your voice in this. Have you ever used Afterpay or another BNPL app and regretted it? Have you ever missed a payment, got hit with fees, or had your bank account wiped out without warning? Tell your story in the comments, because the more we share, the less power this system has over us. This is your space. No judgment, no shame. Just truth. And while you're at it, quick CTA. Join the movement. If you're nodding along right now, if you feel this in your bones, then subscribe to the channel. Not just because it helps, but because we're building something real here. A space where people like us talk about money without BS, without scams, and without shame, and I've got more coming. Smart money hacks, real budgeting tools, paycheck rescue plans, side hustle ideas that actually work in Australia. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share this with someone you know who might be in the same trap. We rise together. Let's be brutally honest for a second. You didn't start using Afterpay because you're reckless. You used it because life is expensive, money is tight, and Afterpay made it easy to say yes when your wallet was screaming no. But now, you might feel stuck. Maybe your next paycheck is already sliced up into payments. Maybe you've stopped checking your bank app because you already know what it's going to say. Sound familiar? Let's dive deeper into why Afterpay and buy now, pay later systems are so dangerous for people who are already feeling financially squeezed. The free money illusion BNPL companies love to say it's interest-free. And sure, if you pay on time, technically, you don't pay interest. But that doesn't make it free. Because every time you use Afterpay, you're spending future mall right. Now that we've ripped the bandage off and exposed the truth about Afterpay and the buy now, pay later game, let's switch gears. It's time to talk solutions. Because yes, you can break free. Yes, you can fix the mess. And no, it doesn't require being rich, perfect, or some finance guru. What you need is a system. Let's build it, step by step. Step 1. Freeze. The bleeding. Stop new BNPL spending. First things first, cut the cord. If you're using Afterpay, Zip, Klarna, Hum, or any other BNPL service, log in and pay off what you owe if possible. Then unlink your cards or bank account. If that's too tempting, delete the apps for now. You can't climb out of a hole if you keep digging. Stopping new spending is step 1. Always. Too broke to pay it all off now? No stress. We'll tackle that next. Step 2. Organize your invisible debts. BNPL is sneaky because it's not listed like traditional loans. It sits in the shadows. So bring it into the light with this method. Grab a piece of paper or your phone notes. Write down name of app, Afterpay, Zip, etc. Total amount owed, next due payment, and date. How many payments left? Now total it all up. You need a full picture. It might hurt to see it all at once, but this is the moment you take your power back. Step 3. Set a micro budget for the next 30 days. This isn't about long-term planning yet. This is triage. Stabilize the bleeding. Here's the format. Simple and effective. Category amount, AUD, rent, groceries, transport bills, minimum BNPL payments, emergency buffer, $20, $50 if possible. Only list needs. No luxuries for now. You're on. Survival plus recovery mode for 30 days. Whatever's left after essentials, put that toward your BNPL debts, starting with the smallest first. That's called the snowball method, and it works because it gives you quick wins and momentum. Step 4. Use the $20 rule to boost cash flow fast. This is simple but powerful. Every single day for the next 10 days, find a way to either save or earn $20. Examples. Sell clothes on Facebook Marketplace. Offer dog walking on Gumtree. Do a single Uber Eats or DoorDash shift. Cancel a subscription you forgot about. Sell your old PS4 or unused tech cook instead of ordering takeaway. Borrow instead of buying something 20-day for 10 days. $200. That's enough to wipe out most small BNPL balances, or at least gain breathing room. Step 5. Automate your recovery once you've stabilized. Automate your bounce back with DOA bank account. Split strategy, open 2 separate accounts. Main account for income plus bills. Freedom account for spending only. Transfer a fixed amount each week. This keeps Afterpay and other apps from draining your full income unexpectedly. It also trains you to live on what's real, not future money. B. Use a spending tracker app. Here are 3 great apps for Aussies. WeMoney, links to accounts and tracks spending automatically. Pocketbook, Simple budget planner, Aussie-friendly. Frollo. Great for visualizing debt and habits. Track every dollar for the next 30 days. Awareness changes everything. Step 6. Build a no BNPL habit. Loop breaking the cycle isn't just financial, it's psychological. Here's a simple 3-part habit strategy. Trigger. You see something you want. Interrupt. Say out loud. Future me will hate this. Swap. Save a screenshot or add to a wish list later folder. Delay is a weapon. Most people forget about 90% of their impulse buys within a week. Prove to yourself that you're in control, not Afterpay. Common. Pitfalls to avoid. Let's be real. A lot of people mess this up by making the same mistakes. Here's what not to do. Don't try to pay everything off at once if it means skipping rent or bills. Don't open another BNPL account to cover the first one. That's a trap. Don't ignore it. Silence is the enemy of financial freedom. Don't punish yourself. Guilt and shame, don't pay the bills. Real transformation example, Dylan, 27, from Adelaide. I had over $1,000 in Afterpay and Zip. I was making $600 a week and falling behind every month. I used the snowball method. Sold my old bike and made an extra $250 doing Uber for 2 weekends. In 45 days, I was free. First time I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck in 3 years. You don't need magic. You just need a plan and the guts to start. Bonus. 3. Hacks to keep BNPL dead for good use. Prepaid cards for discretionary spending load. 100-week on a separate prepaid card. If it's gone, you're done spending. Add BNPL blacklist extensions on Chrome. Install extensions that block Afterpay, Klarna, ZipPay websites while you're online shopping. Seriously, it works. Text a friend. Your temptations make a deal with a mate. When you're about to BNPL something, text them instead. Accountability turns impulsive into intentional. You are not your balance. You are not your bank account. You are not what you owe. You're someone who's now seeing the game for what it is and choosing to play smarter. You're not just surviving anymore. You're rebuilding. On your terms. You made it. If you've followed this journey from block 1 to now, you've already done something most people never do. You faced the truth. You called out the trap, and you took steps to reclaim your financial power. That's not small, that's massive. Let's reflect. Remember where this started? It was just a pair of sneakers, or a jacket, or a phone case, or a birthday gift you couldn't afford to not buy, and it felt harmless. But then the cycle began. Small. Payments piling up, paychecks disappearing before they hit, stress when notifications pop up, guilt when the app takes money, you forgot you owed silence because you didn't know who to talk to about it. This isn't about one bad decision. It's about a system built to exploit your psychology, your habits, your impulses, your emotions. Afterpay and its cousins made it seem like freedom, but now you see it. That was never freedom. That was a leash, and you just started cutting it. What's possible? From here, I want you to imagine 6 months from now. You've ditched BNPL. You're tracking your money with clarity. You've got $300 in a buffer account, maybe even your first emergency fund. You know what's coming in, what's going out, and where your power lives. Maybe you even helped someone else do the same. You're not checking your account in fear anymore. You're not feeling broke the second you get paid. You're sleeping easier because you know you're finally ahead of it. It's not a fantasy. It's the outcome of everything we've broken down. Facing the problem, organizing your finances, building a short-term recovery plan, establishing habits that protect you from sliding back, turning knowledge into action, and you've done most of that already, just by reading this far. Truth bomb. Before you go, this isn't the last trap you'll face. Afterpay is just one of the many clever ways the financial system keeps working-class people under pressure. Interest-free credit cards with hidden fees, payday lenders, rent-to-own. Appliances buy now, pay later holidays, car loans that bury you in interest banking apps that don't actually teach you how to budget. They sell you convenience, but trap you in consequences. But now you see the pattern. Now you've got eyes wide open, and that makes you dangerous. To them. A message to the Lascado crew: you may have been born broke. You may have grown up in a home where money was always tight. You may have made mistakes with money because no one ever taught you any better. But that ends here. Not with shame, not with lectures, but with education, honesty, and a damn good plan. This channel, this space, this movement, it's for the underdog, the Lascado, the one who's tired of faking it and finally wants to build it. We're not chasing fake wealth, we're building real freedom. Here's what you do next. 1. Share your story, comment below. What's your experience with Afterpay or BNPL? What's one thing you're changing starting today? Subscribe to the channel. This is just one of many. We've got episodes on escaping debt budgeting for Aussie wages, real side hustles that actually pay, breaking out of poverty mindset, money lessons no one taught us. 3. Send this to someone who needs it, that friend who's drowning in small debts, but too proud to ask for help? That sibling who's always broke but rocking brand new Nikes? Send this to them. Be the spark. Keep showing up. We're not doing this alone. Every week, more people like you are tuning in. They're learning, they're sharing, they're changing. You're part of a movement now. Before you go, a personal note: I don't know your exact situation, but I know what it feels like to be afraid to check your balance, to avoid looking at your statements, to feel like money is this thing other people get, and you're just out here surviving. But I also know what it feels like to take control, to see your account slowly grow, to pay off that final debt, to finally breathe. You deserve that, and I believe you can have it. No matter how broke you started, you've made it this far. Now let's see how far you'll go. Let's build this together. Now, I want to hear from you. Did this hit home? What's your story with BNPL? What action are you taking right now? Drop it in the comments. And if this content shook something in you, even just a little, smash that subscribe. Turn on notifications. Join the squad that's breaking banks and building lives. We don't just watch content here. We change lives, starting with ours. Thanks for sticking through this with me. We're not done. We're just getting started. See you in the next episode, legend.